Jason Burge and Dave Wilson are the Doodads.
Doodads, 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 doodads.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 27. I think it's 27. We haven't checked, but let's assume it's 27 because we seem to think it's 27.
This is the problem with doing a video podcast and using notes on your phone.
It's all very technical. We're videoed again, so this is the second one. Hello, everybody. You can see our beautiful faces. I have the red hat on because this is our pre-Christmas episode going into December. So it's I'll not say what the date is, but it's going into December. So I thought we'd make it a little bit more Christmassy. And if you can see, we are a little bit organised. We've got some production thing. Now, he had one job. Well, technically it was mine. He had one job, to get a clipboard. Look at the size of that clipboard that he got.
But it makes your hands look so big.
It's tiny. Tiny clipboard. Big bit of paper. Anyway.
If you want to see it, though, it will be on our YouTube channel, and it will be, if you go on Spotify, there is the option to watch the video podcast.
Amazing.
So that's where you'll see it on Apple Podcasts. I haven't found a way to support it yet, but I'm working on it.
But he will, because he's really good like that.
So we've been getting tiny clipboards. What else have we been up to, Dave? What have you been doing in the last time?
Since the last time, we've been to Lilladora. We talked about that, so we went to see Santa. It's just been getting ready, just buying presents, working very hard in the environment that we both work in. It was extremely busy and extremely tiring, but we don't need to go into that in terms of that kind of scenario. Other than that, feeding my now obsession of buying second-hand things and selling them at a profit.
I know that's completely out of our sort of order that we've got on the running list. Do you want to expand on that?
No, we'll talk about that a little later because there's a perfect moment for that I'm going to talk about. But what have you done, my friend?
There's been a lot of football on.
Okay.
I did the Harrogate-Wrexham game, and unfortunately, one of my hall passes wasn't there. Ryan Reynolds is on my list.
Wrexham! I've just got the relevance of that. I was like, no.
So he didn't arrive in a helicopter. Sorry?
Was the other one there?
Rob McElhaney? Yeah. I'm terrible with surnames. I'm really sorry to anyone who I get the surnames wrong.
Rob McElhaney listens to this. We do apologise for absolutely trashing your name there. And please don't hold that against us. But if you want to send any tickets to the Wrexham game, greatly appreciated. Thank you.
But yeah, it was funny to see, or just good to see how much effect the positives is that the lower leagues are getting so much more press attention. Yeah. But I mean, it's only really around Wrexham, but at least it goes to each club and it builds up sort of focus around those lower leagues, and hopefully that will continue going forward.
If there happens to be any dads listening to this or anybody listening that isn't really into football and doesn't know what we are talking about, there is, I think it's Disney Plus. There is there's a series called, is it Welcome to Wrexham or something like that? So you can get the lowdown on what those Hollywood A-listers have done with that club. So that would be the first recommendation. I've watched season 1. It is quite funny. It is quite good, quite heartwarming, and they've done a great job. So so that was on your kind of bucket list, but he wasn't there.
Yes. So it would have been amazing to meet him. But I think the staff there were saying there's so many people that are coming to the game in the hope that he would turn up, just in the possibility, which is then it's driving ground attendance, it's driving interest. So that's good to see. But on the flip side, it means a lot more work for them because they have to put in more security, more things in place just in case.
Are you more ready for Christmas? Because the last time you said that you had done zero in terms of prep. Are you a bit more prepared?
So my wife gave me her list.
Right.
And I have bought some things off that list. I'm not going to say which things because that would be telling. Not that she listens to this podcast, but in the case that she does, then that would be fine.
I'd like to see my wife listen to this one as well, but I suspect possibly
she's
not.
more of an audiobook fan than a podcast fan, so that's fine. And yeah. So what about you? You were pretty much done last time, I think.
Yes, so we've got to get ready for Hattie's birthday, which is in a couple of days' time. Her her birthday party is this Sunday, so that'll be soft play with some people from her class. And then, yes, once that happens, on her birthday is on a couple of days after that, so I'll not say the date of her birthday, but once her birthday is done, which is within the first week of December, then we can put the Christmas decorations up, because the rule is nothing goes up until her birthday has passed.
That's a good tradition to have. We've already put our decorations up.
People have put their decorations up on the
thing.
1st of November, man.
Yeah.
So I understand people want to get in that mood, but we made this decision that we don't want to, pull away from her birthday celebrations, because obviously, tradition-wise, if I could, I'd be sitting watching Christmas movies and drinking hot chocolate and marshmallows from probably about November the 1st, like I said. But we're going to do that, and we're going to give her a good party, and then, it'll be full-on Christmas mode. This year, been a bit weird, obviously not in our own house, but in this lovely place that we're in at the moment, staying with the in-laws. It'll be a change from last year. Can you remember what happened last Christmas for me?
Last Christmas. That feels like such a long time ago. Was that when you got the notice for... Oh, you had, the chest infection.
I had pneumonia, so Christmas was
yeah.
pretty much gone for me last year. So this is why I'm looking forward to this one, so we can, like I say, we are in our home. It is our home, but it's obviously not the house that we own. But it's going to be lovely. Food's going to be great. Company, family, all of that kind of stuff. So the kids will have a great time, because they get to cook. Because obviously, Sharon and John, my in-laws, are fantastic, like chefs and cooks and stuff. So they'll do a lot of home baking. So I'm sure in one of the episodes next time you'll see some cookies out on the desk, and we'll eat through them. But I'm trying not to, because I'm still trying to be fit, even though I fell off the wagon this week. But that getting ready, what we've done. I think next time we have a conversation about what have we done, I think we're going to have a lot more to kind of talk about, because it'll be present wrapping, present opening. It'll be all of the things that we might go to visit, because we've got things like Christmas parties coming up.
Well, put a pin in Christmas.
Okay. Yeah.
While we're talking about being in this house,
Yeah.
just in case you hear the dishwasher in the background, we like to have some sort of audio issue whenever we're... Just so you get an idea that we're real people in a real setting, not in a studio somewhere.
I was going to dress up like Freddie Mercury in that video and do some hoovering, but he vetoed that idea. So, yeah. But dishwasher, that was me banging. I'm not touching the table, Jason. I'm not touching
the table, Dave.
Yes, that's another thing. If I touch the table, I do apologise, but I'm not touching the table.
The table is lava, not the floor is lava.
Right, so...
Christmas jokes.
Yeah. Are we doing them now?
I say Christmas jokes. We've just been talking about Christmas. Why don't we keep in the Christmas spirit? Or do you want to bring it in later?
I don't know.
Let's do one now. One.
Go, you
list.
go for it.
Okay.
You mentioned it. You go for it. We have a list.
So we've
Christmas
got...
cracker jokes, the ones you open.
Yeah.
We've got 25, the worst. So Jason, go for the first one.
Okay.
Yeah?
What athlete is warmest in winter, Dave?
I don't know, Jason. What?
A long jumper.
A long jumper. Shall I do one?
Yeah.
That was very funny, that one, by the way. What do you call a penguin in the Sahara Desert?
Penguin, desert, sandy?
No, lost. And that is the tone, ladies and gentlemen, that we're going for, okay?
Yeah,
so the best jokes that you can pull out at Christmas.
Top shelf Christmas cracker jokes.
Now, we're going to bring an oldie back.
Okay.
An oldie.
Talking about traditions.
I want to say a goodie. I don't know. We're going to bring an oldie back.
Okay.
Jason pulled this out of his arsenal. I pulled this out of his arsenal on one of the very first 2 or 3 episodes that we ever did. So back all those times ago. And it's called Pronunciation.
Hilariously, okay, so the first one for
don't
this...
even try to argue this one.
My daughter, I had this argument with her. She calls it pronunciation. And I only did that as a joke, because for it to be definitely wrong. It's pronunciation. She's like, no, it's pronunciation. Like,
wow.
I have failed. I have failed as a father.
So have you got one?
Yes. Okay, so the other one, came up for me is when you're talking about an arrangement of flowers.
A bouquet.
Is it? Oh no. Okay. No, we're not going with
No.
Mrs. Bucket.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
It's a floral arrangement or a floral arrangement.
Ooh, floral arrangement. I'd probably go with
Floral. Okay.
Yeah.
I would go floral.
I've heard floral.
I don't know. I think it's one of these ones I would probably flip depending on how I'm feeling on the day.
Yeah. At this moment in this time, I'd go with floral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I've got
What
one
about
for
you?
you.
Yeah.
So you've got little kids who are naughty, elves who are a little bit, they do little tricks. What would they be?
Imps.
No, but what
tricksters?
would the behaviour be?
Naughty.
Begins with M.
Mischievous.
Yeah, right. Okay. It's mischievous.
Mischievous.
It's mischievous.
Mischievous.
No, it's definitely mischievous. That is the correct pronunciation. I looked it up. I got somebody to tell me on a video. Mischievous.
Yeah, but you looked up the British pronunciation.
Yeah. So you go mischievous. Is that what you would say, yeah?
Again, I've
works
probably
better than I
used
thought.
both. I've probably used both. But yeah, mischievous. I like the ebb and flow of mischievous
Okay.
over mischievous.
Okay, but it is mischievous. Anyway, right? Have you got another one?
No, you can go again.
I've got a couple, right? So, it's the past tense of said. What's that? Or he, not said, he is in the process of, so he,
Saying?
not saying, says.
Oh,
Do you say says or the correct
Says.
way? Says.
Yeah.
Says is the correct way. So would you,
he says, she says.
even though I just said says there, I was like, is that right? I meant to say says, but says is the correct.
That's what
Correct.
she. That's what she says.
pronunciation. Oh, what's going on? Right. So
That's what
so
she
we
says.
got on that one.
Yeah.
And if you have a counter, thought on anything that we're saying here, you can kind of write in, send comments in, send a little video, do whatever you want on
The Doodads at iCloud.com on email, The Doodads on Twitter, and The Doodads podcast on Instagram and Facebook.
He's brilliant, isn't he?
I've been practicing that one because I messed it up the other week.
Oh, he's brilliant. Actually, you're breaking your rule, by the way.
What?
You're waving your cup over your piece of equipment there.
Yeah, I don't like having liquids near my electronics. But I also like having a throat that is well lubricated.
Wow. Anyway. Sorry to any young listeners listening there. Right. Somebody who works for somebody, not a PA, like the
Okay.
PA, the old school version.
Secretary?
Yeah. Secretary.
Secretary. I'd see, if I was saying home secretary, I'd probably say, because that's how British people say it, but I would say secretary.
Secretary.
Yeah. Secretary.
Secretary.
Each of us saying it is not going to make the other one change how
I
they say
know,
it.
but there's a correct way and a wrong way. And the last one, which I pulled these. I found these and somebody saying these because obviously you can do it anyway. Vegetable.
Now I just want to say it different to you,
God,
just because.
Vegetable or vegetable.
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 Is how
Yeah.
I would
I
shorten.
have heard people say vegetable.
Yeah, vegetable.
Vegetable.
If I
Vegetable.
was talking about someone in a vegetative state, I might add in a little bit of thing
I get
for
that,
the
I get
comedy that is someone being in a vegetative state.
Which
That's
isn't.
terrible. Maybe we should cut that out. We're going to get cancelled.
Boo. Vegetable. Anyway, right. So
Vegetable.
that was pronunciations. Yeah. So that was quite good actually. Normally I have none.
Yeah.
See, I told you, production man.
You know what?
Production value.
There is actually method in, planning actually.
I have said this since day one, but absolutely not done anything about it. It wasn't until we got the mini clipboards that I thought, do you know what?
You know what though? As soon as you've put an order, I've totally wanted to just do it completely
Well, that's
non-linear.
how you do it. That's how you do it. Right.
But before you were talking about how you've been sort of wheeling and dealing.
Are we messing
and
out this
things.
next section, are we?
Oh, see, this is
We
the
have a
problem.
production list for a reason, Jason.
Okay. I thought I had a good segue then.
No, keep that segue for the next one. Come on. Got a list here. I've done all this work.
Well,
Well, I didn't. I just put it, so
you know
that's
what
really
would have
fair.
been better though is go with the pronunciations. Dave, let's just agree to disagree.
Hindsight's a great thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. We might leave that all in,
No,
but
leave
that would be
all
the
of
best.
that. Just leave all of
That
that.
is the best segue to this next
Segue king,
thing,
man.
which is we want to start a new segment, agree or disagree.
Can I just say, I don't know what this segment's about.
Yeah,
Okay,
so-
so he's chucking some stuff at me, so here we go.
Well, I wanted to see what your off-the-cuff
Oh, God.
reaction
This
was
isn't
to this.
political, is it?
It's not political.
Oh, good.
No. So, someone once told me that if someone is habitually late to meeting with you, do you feel like they value their time over your time? So they think their time is more important than your time.
Yes.
That's what they're telling you.
Yes. If they're habitually late.
Yeah, I'm not saying a one-off. That happens to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're habitually late to catching up with you, meaning you're sat there waiting for them to be there at a certain time.
I'm just trying to think if I've ever been habitually late for you before, directing this at me. Which
This
I
is
haven't.
not a passive-aggressive.
I'm
You
sorry.
are historically very either early or on time.
Yeah. Oh, no, on time's late. It is. Always got to be early. I hate it when I'm late. It really gets me. Anyway, that might be a personal feeling that I'm kind of swayed. Like the reason why I think that way is because I don't like to be late myself. But I would say if somebody is habitually late, not necessarily they're thinking their time's more important than the other person's time, they're just not thinking about the other person.
Yeah, and the impact that has.
And the impact that has.
Yeah.
Because if that person might have turned up early for them every single time. So being on time means there's no argument then, really, because then you're on time for the time that you said. But if you turned up early, you're prepared.
No.
I mean, that's the way, look, everybody probably knows, the job that I did prior to this was a performer, so being on stage, and that is drilled into you, that you have to be there at least on time, because you have to be there for your cue. But if you can get changed and be in the wings, ready to go on, ready in the headspace, then you're there. So that just went out into my real life. And that's why, for work purposes, I plan, I don't know if it's something going on my head, but I plan early. I get on an earlier bus, so I'm there in plenty of time. So if something does go wrong, I'm always going to be on time to some degree rather than late. So was I agreeing with your statement, or was I disagreeing
No,
with
you're
your
agreeing.
statement?
Okay. So my statement is basically, do you think? Well, that's a yes or no. That's more a yes or no than agree or
What
disagree.
do you think?
I agree.
Okay.
We had a friendship group that I go back to high school, my best friends. So there was me, who was generally early like you. Then there was my mate Luke, who was amazing at being exactly on time all the time. And then there was my mate Andrew, who was always late because he tried to fit so much into a day. He was like, I can do this. Oh, I can do this one more thing before I do this and whatever. But yeah, then the effect was you would sometimes even get to the point where we would say, all right, we're meeting half an hour earlier. And everyone else would say, okay, well, no, we're actually meeting at this time, so that he would get there around about the same time as us. And it's like, you don't want to be, I wouldn't want to be that person where people are making allowances for that you're going to be late all the time. So yeah, I don't agree with living in that kind of way. And especially, I think sometimes now with mobile phones, I've noticed that I don't plan things as much because you go, oh well, I can call them. So I've gotten worse. I'm more an on-time person now than I was early, and that's also with trying to juggle things around family and all that. But I think mobile phones have made it worse in that people make last-minute plans and they go, oh well, I called you to tell you that I was going to be late. It's like, yeah, but you're late every single time. Which now that I'm saying it, so there is a friend that I am sometimes more late for than not. But he likes to be there very early, like you.
Does he listen to the podcast?
He probably does.
Oh, God.
I am sorry, John. I'm sorry that I'm not there early all the time. I am much worse at timekeeping than I have been in the past. So,
But that's
But yes, I feel like that is me sometimes saying I'm valuing my time, and I feel bad for that, and I feel guilty, and I'm owning that. So.
Yeah. Anything else on your agree or disagree list?
No. That's just the one. I think we should do this as a thing,
well,
a statement,
and
then we'll,
Absolutely.
have a debate. Although in this instance, not a debate.
Not a debate. Perfect.
All right.
Right. This is your segue.
Yeah. So back to the where we were talking about the stuff that you've been doing recently, and you've been wheeling and dealing.
Getting addicted to buying tut.
Yeah.
Somebody
Have you got any really interesting things that you've been managed to find in the charity shop?
So I'll go down the list of things. I haven't got them with us. Or have I? So the first thing, like, it's hitting and missing. So I'm going into charity shops, and I'm pulling on all that bargain hunt and celebrity antiques trail and all of that kind of stuff that I watch. And I'm going around and I'm turning it over and I'm looking at the back and I'm going, ooh. So I've got a couple of plates, a couple of Wedgwood plates with Peter Rabbit designs on. I got a Royal Dalton plate. I got a little cast iron Japanese teacup with saucer yesterday, which is quite nice. Whilst like a silver plate, trinket box, all of that kind of stuff. I've got all of them. I've got like an African carved. If anybody wants any of this, you can find us, just send out.
Have you got a profile on Vinted? Is there a thing that they can search
75, I think. Beppe 75.
How do you spell it?
Beppe, as in Beppe DeMarco, because that's who I look like. Not now, but who I look like. It's called BEPPE 75.
Okay.
Beppe.
There we go.
Don't troll me. All right. Please. So I've got that.
We can cut it out if you want. We can bleep it.
It's fine. No, it's fine. But you always want to walk into a charity shop and find that one thing that you think you're gonna be able to flip and make a bit of money on. And I found something, Jess.
Oh, okay. Tell me what it is, Dave.
Now, do you know what time it is right now?
I don't know. It's about 11:30.
It's Saxamaphone time, baby.
Ooh,
Saxamaphone.
that looks really familiar.
Yes, it is made famous by Jack Black from Tenacious D. It is made by Kawasaki, not the motorbike company, just a different company called Kawasaki. It was made,
sure?
yeah, 100%. I've looked it up. I know it. So it
There's
was,
two Kawasaki.
yeah.
things.
This was a random toy thing that was made by a company called Kawasaki. So it wasn't anything to do with the motorbike company. That my research has led me to believe. Anyway,
Okay.
this was sitting in Far Place. Shout out to Far Place charity shops. It was sitting there, and I went as I walked in. I was like, "That's a saxophone." So I picked it up slowly, and I was like, "It's a saxophone."
Was there like music playing and like a
Yeah,
golden
he's like,
shaft of light?
I've been looking for one of these for ages, because they never come up. You can never find them.
Yeah.
It's a bit worn. You can probably see it's a bit scratchy and all that, but it's perfect. It's in like as near perfect condition it can be from something that was made in 1998.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you get a good tune out of it, Dave? Wow, you can play it without even putting your mouth near the front of the thing.
I wouldn't put my mouth near that. I don't know where it's been.
You've been practicing then.
I'll stop.
Well, that keep going.
Press the stop button.
You know what? I've just realized what I'm getting the Kawasaki confused with is Yamaha.
Yeah.
Because they do bikes and...
Yeah, yes, and musical instruments.
musical instruments.
To be fair though, with my research, might be wrong. There might have been their little foray into that.
No.
But anyway, so I picked it up. I've got a saxophone in my hand. So I thought, oh, there's a barcode on there, no price. So I was like, oh dear. So what am I going to do? So I went to the desk and I got to scan it, and I was expecting it to say something like 20, 30 quid because,
Yeah.
it is what it is. How much do you think I paid? I know you know how much I paid, so it's probably not much
You
of
know
a
what?
guess.
I would have
How
thought
much would
similar
you
to you,
think?
like 15, 20 quid.
Yeah, I paid. Actually, if I tell you, then people won't want to pay the money that I'm expecting for it.
Do you think that's going to intersect?
Nah, probably not.
Nah.
I paid £2 for it.
Amazing.
£2 for it in this charity shop. If you've ever been in a Far Place charity shop, it looks like a jumble sale. Everything's all over the place. There's prices on it. It tells you how many weeks it's been in there, all that kind of stuff. It's great. I love it. Shout out to Brit from work. She was the one that said go to that place, and I found it in where, near to where we are. And I went in, I said, this is amazing. Because you have to root around. So when I go into other charity shops, I feel more conspicuous because you're going in and you're looking at the back of things. So they know what you're there for. But in Far Place, perfect. So if you've got a Far Place, I think it's a dog's charity. I might be wrong there. But go in, you'll find little bargains. You'll also find useful things as well. So it's not just about things about flipping. So I don't want people to go there and rinse it. But that was £2. So How much are they worth?
I mean, it's a piece of plastic. I would have said, 50, maybe 100 quid.
Okay, that's a good guess. Some of them, the scope that I can see on eBay, and again, it's what people want to pay for it. The most I've ever seen it go for is about £500. Now, I
Wow.
suspect
And
that's
that
still
was
got the
sold?
strap. Yeah, that was sold. So I
Right.
suspect it still has the strap, it still has the box, all of that kind of stuff. But it
Right.
can range from about £150 all the way up the scale to £500. That is probably worth about £150 to £200. It's on eBay at the moment. I'm not under Bebby 75. But yeah, I'm going to see if I can flip it and see if I can just buy a couple more presents at Christmas. But I'm going to be blatantly honest with you. The absolute big kid Jack Black and me really wants to keep it. Like really
That
wants
was
to keep it.
exactly my next question. Was going to do you want to sell it or do you want to keep it to yourself?
If I could afford to keep it, I would keep it because I love
Yeah.
it. I think the fact I found it, I'm never going to find another one for
Yeah.
that price.
Yeah.
And it could stay in the collection and, it could be worth something at some other point. But yeah. So there is
Amazing
lots of
time.
things out there. And which brings me on to a second little bit on that.
Okay.
We're going to bring back something else
Oh,
we've done in
okay.
the past.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's our charity shop challenge.
yeah, okay, nice.
We did it, and now I've been doing a bit more research, so I'm a bit more in the headspace.
I feel like I'm on the back foot on this one. You've got a really nice place to go to.
So, the rules of the game: we're going to set a price limit. You're going to have to buy something, and then you have to flip it. And then, if we do flip that particular thing, right, we will we will take the money,
profits,
profits out of it, if there is any, and we will give that to charity. Now, it's not going to be a lot, but we will do that. Okay?
Yeah,
We'll
and if you
endeavour to do that.
fail, you have to, the difference you still have to pay to charity.
Yeah, well-
So if you go under.
Fair, yeah, no, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
If you go under it, you have to be the difference to whatever the value
Yeah,
where the top end.
I know
value.
that doubles up the difference, but that's more incentive to do a better
I
job.
think we'll end up. You can only sell it in 2 places.
Okay.
That'll be Vinted and eBay.
Okay.
I suggest Vinted is better because
Can I
eBay
not
is
do
gonna,
Facebook Marketplace?
You can absolutely. I'll give
Okay.
you a third option on that one. Okay, you can't buy it off
I mean,
yourself.
it's the Wild West.
You can't buy it off yourself. But so the amount of money.
Yeah.
Shall we go a £5?
That's what I
£5?
was thinking.
Yeah. So, and we'll try and do it by
Next episode.
or the episode after.
Okay.
Depending.
Well, we
you can
can
show
update.
them,
It should be bought by
and then you
next
can
episode.
show what you've got, and then we'll
Yeah.
do that. So that's a little challenge, and hopefully that'll run because that feeds into whatever I do, and we can have a look later on this afternoon. I'll take you into the charity shops that
Yeah.
we're going and have a look. So that is Saxamaphone Baby on my list. That is gone. That's ticked.
It's
Amazing.
very beautiful. As soon as you showed it, I was like, "Oh, that video where he's on Jimmy Fallon
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
playing
Amazing.
it along." It's amazing.
That's what gives it its value.
Yeah.
I think outside of that, vintage toys is probably worth about 20, 30 quid.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's made it
Yeah.
a thing that musicians can use and sample and use in whatever they want to do, that gives it a vintage kind of toy thing. I have had interest from one person who asked me what my reserve price was, which I'm not going to tell them, and would I send it to Texas, which I was like, that's going to cost 50 quid, which I'm not paying for. So she said it was for our grandkid, but I was like, why are you going to pay like that amount of money for a toy like that? I was like, no.
That is way too risky.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not going to.
If you were doing it that way, the only way I'd say is you want the money up front.
Yeah, mine has
but
no refunds.
even then, the eBay has disputes thing, and they tend to side in the side of the buyer rather than the seller.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
you don't want to risk it.
Yeah.
Definitely. I've just noticed it's a little bit quieter. The dishwasher seems to have turned off.
Oh, shall I go put the washing machine on?
Is that one of your household jobs, Dave?
Oh, no. In the other house, yes. In
Okay.
here, I have less allocated jobs.
And this was something that we wanted to talk about. It's actually on our list, on our clipboards that make our hands look massive, is household job allocations.
Not the only thing that makes your hand look massive. Anyway. Sorry, that was a rude adult joke. I do apologize. And how I know that, I do not know. Anyway.
You've been spying on me again, Dave. So,
Apologies.
within your household, so we were talking about this at work the other day, and the different sort of jobs around the house
Yeah.
that tend to be split up between partners.
Yeah.
And I was
we
just
going all
curious
gender specific here.
I didn't want to go gender specific, so I
Okay.
said partners
Okay,
rather
good.
than I'm
yeah.
not saying man or woman.
Good.
I'm saying
just said
with
it.
your partners. Just interesting to hear what jobs you do specifically and your jobs.
I'll reference
what
myself
are your,
from my previous.
Yeah, okay. What are your wife's jobs? And then what are ones you do together?
Right.
Because that's the thing. It's not always one that it's like this person's or that person's responsibility.
So I could do the comedy route and say my jobs are whatever my wife tells me my jobs are.
Well, I mean, that often comes in the form of DIY.
Yeah, no, like fixing stuff. Generally, we're a good partnership. We, muck in and do everything with everybody. But generally, Amy likes that whole Mrs. Hinch thing, where we went through a whole period of buying everything that she bought and all that kind of stuff, which a lot of people did. And she likes that. Me, if we were going to down the mundane route of what the jobs were, I'll do the packed lunches in the morning, which I still do for the kids, and Amy sometimes when we get a chance to. I don't mind doing washing up. You know what I mean? I know we've got a dishwasher, and we had one in the old house, but every now and again I'll do dishes and I'll wash up. Don't mind doing that at all. Put the bins out, put the rubbish out. That would generally go to me just because it would involve going outside. In all weathers. So that would be what I would generally do. Like I say, Amy would do a lot, you know what I mean? Food, probably more so her than me, but we generally, I don't mind cooking, but we're quite a mixture, you know what I mean? It's not, I don't define it as, I'm a man, I have to do that. And
I don't think that, same with you. It's not gender specific, but it tends to, within households, it's interesting to see. We might actually, you can put a poll on Spotify. So if you're listening to this on Spotify, we'll put a poll and see what jobs like people do around the house or like men and women. But like bins tends to be a more masculine job from the small cross section that we've done. And that's not about, it's just the tendency towards that. Same, my wife does the majority of the cooking. I think I've talked about this before, I made a deconstructed lasagna because we didn't have any pasta sheets. So it was essentially just mince and cheese and pasta sauce. And so then I've never, since then, it's like no, I don't cook unless it's like something that's frozen. Well, maybe, like a prepackaged taco kit or something that's easy to make, but I don't do many of the cooking. But I'm not saying that's not a feminine job. I'm just saying that's where it tends to lie.
One sec. You mean taco?
Taco.
You mean taco?
Taco. I'm not changing. Taco.
Taco. Anyway, interesting fact.
Yes.
When Amy has a job for me to do, this is really good. She waits until I've sat down and I've got comfortable, and then she gives me the job. Every time. Anyway, I'm looking down the camera like she's going to be watching me. She won't be.
You're gonna
Yeah, exactly.
She's been waiting outside the door. She's going to walk in right at that moment and bang. So do that. Putting out the bins. I do I'm not very good at DIY. Hold my hand up there, but I will do the things.
Technically minded. I thought you would have been really good at DIY.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I tend to make holes in walls, or I get maybe frustrated when I can't do the thing that I want to do with my hands. Or
I get
dirty bastard.
Dirty Mike. I do as well. But I come from a generation. It's really weird. My dad was an engineer, and I might have mentioned this before. He does everything for us. Do you know what I mean? So changing a plug and all that, he was like, "I'll do it," and I'm like, "Okay." So I've had to self-teach in certain regards. I don't drive a car, so I know how to look for an oil change, and that's about it. But I don't mind getting I'll read an instruction manual and I'll see where we go from there. But all good.
What about, so things like vacuuming?
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Yeah, that's something that I do as well. These are things we both do, but it tends to fall more to me. Same you said with dishwashing. We don't have a dishwasher. We share it, but I tend to do it more than she does.
There's a thing in, with Amy as well, it's great. There's how I vacuum, and then there's how she vacuums. So
It's okay
Degrees-
to admit that she's better at it than you, Dave.
Oh, 100%. She tells me all the time. Anyway.
Okay, so this is an interesting one.
She's gonna kill
This
me.
is an interesting one. So, like, I will help with the washing, but that tends to be more her side of things. Hanging stuff out, she is very particular in the way things are hung out. And to be fair, they dry quicker that way. Yeah. So that's fine. But I think it's a thing sometimes when, and I've seen jokes about it on social media, and that is if your partner degrades how you do something, you're less likely to want to do that task again. Absolutely. And so it's that doing it mindfully, I think, is a really important thing. And thinking about that the same way, I think, so sometimes because she does a lot of the cooking and we don't necessarily give her the thanks and praise that she needs to want to do that again and keep doing that and feeling like, because I'm not that good at cooking. She doesn't want to risk me cooking over her, but she also wants to get that recognition that she's doing a good job.
Yeah.
And so I think it's that same thing. Instead of pointing out the flaws, sometimes it's nice to say thank you, or mix that in, do the shit sandwich, as they call it. Go, thank you for helping that out. Next time, maybe could you do it like this and it will dry quicker? Thanks. But yeah, thank you so much for, helping out with that.
Do you get that a lot?
That has happened. It's happened that way as well. And when you recognize it, you go, "Oh, you're doing the shit sandwich." Okay. But yeah, so that's. Hopefully, she doesn't listen. But if you know what, either way, I don't mind. We have these conversations. If you have any thoughts on this, give us a shout out. You know where we are on our socials and thedudads@icloud.com.
Excellent.
So
Right.
yeah.
Next on the list, back to Christmas cracker jokes.
Okay. Yeah. I think after that sort of heaviness, we need to go into something a bit lighter.
Let's do some rubbish jokes.
All right. Why don't you go first this time?
Cameras are wobbling.
Oh yeah, that's my fault.
What do you get if you put a bell on a skunk?
Bell on a skunk. Something stinky balls?
Stinky balls.
Stinky balls.
Stinky balls. All right.
I don't know, Dave.
I'm laughing at that more than the punch. Stinky balls.
Stinky balls.
Love it. I can't even say the answer now. Jingle smells.
Jingle smells.
Stinky balls. Stinky balls.
So it doesn't have the same ring to it.
No, it doesn't. No. Right, go on, go for it.
What happens to elves when they are naughty, Dave?
I've just read the punchline. I don't know.
You're not supposed to read the punchline before we do the joke.
I can help it. Stinky balls. Stinky balls.
Santa gives them the sack.
Rude.
Is that like a turkey slap?
We'll do two more.
Okay, let's go again.
Who hides in the bakery at Christmas?
Hides in the bakery at Christmas. I want to say something with Grinch, but I can't think. No.
A mince spy.
Yeah. Nice.
Love it. Right, go on. Last one from you for this one.
What kind of motorbike does Santa ride?
I don't know.
A Holly Willoughby.
A
Holly Davidson.
Whoa! Where did that come from?
A Holly
We're going to
Davidson.
have to put an R in on this one. What? Apologies.
I saw Holly and I was like, I have to put this in.
Dear me. Anyway. Holly Davidson.
Holly Davidson.
Cool. We'll come back to them in a second.
All right.
Next one on our production list is another one from yourself.
Yeah. So I was thinking the other day, and I think I mentioned it last episode, not last week, about being a proud dad. And I was trying to remember. I'm like, I'm so proud of Jess. I can't remember why. But I think, it's nice to celebrate those moments when you look at your kids and you go, oh, wow, that's amazing. Like, you have become you're becoming an amazing adult. It's good to see like these things that you're doing. So I don't know. Do you have any sort of ideas around that? Or I'll let you think, and then I'll tell you the ones.
No, you go for yours, and then I'll think as I'm.
I think I've already mentioned this one. This was a while back, but Jess is quite shy. As much as she likes doing her social media stuff and being on there in person, she's very shy. And I think that's a thing that she gets from a lot of the teachers. They go, you're amazing. You're an amazing student. You do all these things. I just wish you'd speak up more in class so that people would listen to you and respect you, and and I would get your input in that moment rather than finding it on the page. And so the start of it was last year when she was in year 7, she joined the school council. She put herself up for it, and I was not expecting that. Came out of the blue. I was just really proud of her for putting herself out there and being in a place where she would have to have some form of responsibility. She'd have to potentially do sort of presentations to the school and to work on that. So yeah, that was one of the moments from a while back. Recently, I was really impressed by. I'm quite an outgoing person, and like I say, she's quite shy. I found, so she goes to conventions and she gets dressed up in cosplay, and she goes and talks to people and asks, can I get a photo with you? And I find that really difficult as a person approaching strangers when it's not in a work setting, to ask them, oh, can you do this, or do you want to be this, or even to put myself out there if I'm not being paid to be a performer, or I'm not being paid, just being like, I went to that D&D thing dressed up, but then I was like, I felt self-conscious. I was like, I've got to wear a coat, and I've got to, and then not go, because maybe there won't be that many people dressed up. There was plenty of people dressed up. I just needed to have a bit more confidence in myself. So that was another thing. And she went with a friend when it was Halloween. She went out with a friend to Whitby, and the friend was like, I'm just going to wear a t-shirt and jeans. But she had the confidence to be, no, I want to get dressed up. I'm going to wear what I want to wear. And she had like full, like kind of like goth dress, like full on dressed up and stuff. And she had an amazing time. And just to have that self-confidence and not care what other people think, that I was just blown away by that.
Yeah.
And the last one, bit funnier. So she comes in from school and she goes, okay, so we had sex ed today. And the teacher said, what are the different names you know for a penis and for a vagina? Now, can you think of, just off the top of your head, give me some things that you think she might have said and put on the list. So they were allowed, and the teacher said, there's nothing off limits. You can say whatever you want to say. There is no, we're just going to go through all the different words. What do you think she said for penis?
I'm going to say, well, I'm going to assume it's something like Willy.
If you get this, I will give you £20.
Todger?
No.
Is it more R-rated than that?
It's just so obscure. Unless you've seen
Thomas?
the meme. No.
I don't really want to say anything too R-rated.
I guess depends if we want to put an E rating on this one.
No, it's fine. Go for it.
So she said, "Cum Shooter 2000."
Wow.
And I was just like, and then so they were talking about vagina, and she's like, "Well, I did say the C word." And I did come up with some other ones and stuff like that. But I was just like, for her to like put up her hand, and I think she said it out loud to the class. I was just like, it was one of those things where I probably shouldn't be proud of that.
No,
but at the same time, just that to be...
The teacher said it. And
it was okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it wasn't her being silly. It wasn't
her...
But just... I was like, I didn't even... And then, so there is a meme out there as well. So that's where it comes from. So there's like... It has all these different characters from a TV show, and they'll have like dick, cock, whatever. And and then the Cum Shooter 2000 is one of the things on the...
It's not from Sunny or anything like that. No.
I don't know where it's from originally. Oh, okay. I've just seen some of the memes because I was like, where the hell did she get this from? But I was well impressed. I'm like, yeah.
You have to be proud of those kind of moments, I think, because that shows maturity and you know what I mean, and a little bit of humor as well, I suppose, to come up with that kind of thing. Mine's none of that. Very similar in terms of like for Violet, the council thing. That was one I was going to say. Is you great minds and all that kind of stuff. Violet, when she first started into big school, she'd been in the school council in primary and was like, I want to be on And so went to the teacher and said, how do I get on? He went, well, normally it's for second, third, or fourth year students.
Nice.
But she wrote a letter to the headmaster and asked and
Wow.
got on. She's not on it anymore. She did about 2 years, and then she thought third year she's going to concentrate on GCSEs. So that was that for her. But she's my proudest moment for all of my 3 kids is they embody kindness and empathy and, you know, that kind of part of the sensitive part of who they are. And Violet's very much like that. She'll stick up for everybody but herself.
Have you got one for Noah?
Yeah, Noah, I'm proud of Noah, you know, is a typical boy, but he is a very sensitive boy as well. He locks it away. He doesn't like compliments. He's like, he pulls these little like things. He's like this and all that. But the other day, he was asking people what their favorite things were. He was just saying, what's your favorite thing? If Santa could bring you anything, what would be your favorite thing? So every single member in this house, so he asked both his grandparents, me, his mum, and his 2 siblings. And then all of a sudden he went, it would have been about a week ago, just short of a week ago. He went, can I have everybody in my bedroom, please? Everybody go upstairs. And he drew a picture of each thing. And he went, that's for you. And it's a badge in Newcastle. So he's drew it. Like a 9-year-old would. He's copied it. So he's not traced it. He's copied it. He did Manchester United for his granddad. His Grampy, sorry. And he did like unicorn for all of that kind of stuff. And at that moment, I was like, you little legend. Do you know what I mean? It was just like, you thought about each person, went and asked them, and then took time, because it would have been time, to draw over a period of weeks, I think it was. He'd asked the question a bit earlier for other people. And he gave them out. So now that's on the side of my bed. So that is the moment. And then Hattie's just nuts, man, in a funny, cool, crazy way. And she'll come up with, she's a product of the other 2 and social media and YouTube and all that.
And being the youngest child.
But she's like, I'm a princess, but I'm not this princess. I'm this. And you'll ask her something, she'll be like, no. But she just makes me laugh, like all of them do. But she's the one that I'm trying to hold on to the most because she's the youngest. And as soon as she grows up, it's all gone. But yeah, that's probably where we come from. But there's loads of other stuff, as there would be a parent and all that. No. She did come in and say something. I can't remember the story, so I'm not even going to go into it. It was another sex ed conversation about one of the teachers comes in and calls a penis something, and it was like, we were like, calls it what? I can't remember. I'll have to remember it for next time we're on. But that was like, she literally made us all laugh in her delivery of how it was. But yeah, no, we've got lots of proud ones. So more to come, more to look forward to. You know, GCSEs for Violet in a couple of years' time. Noah's liking his football, and he's going to traverse the whole of the school system without most of her. She's got an older brother for 2 years, or a year and a half now. And then he'll go to big school. He'll have big school with Violet for 2 years. And then Hattie won't have Noah in big school, because by the time Noah goes all the way through it, Hattie will just be starting it. So she's got to traverse all that.
Yeah.
Shall we?
It's interesting. You know what? Like, I didn't put this on the list, but the idea of, and this is, I like the idea of Thanksgiving. I don't like the idea that it's so American and all that, and forcing American traditions into. But that whole idea of being thankful, but also recognition of those moments when you're like, I did my job as a dad, and I'm proud also that they're their own person and they've done those amazing things. So
I mean, look, we'll go deep just for a second and then we'll go back to things. So it's like, every dad out there who's doing the best, just know that best is enough.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what degree it is, as long as, and Stephen Gregory, I've mentioned him again. No! Oh! Stephen Gregory on the other podcast,
Dads, Papas and Father Figures.
Deep Pod. He asked a question about that, and you know, like, what's it like to be dad and all that kind of stuff. And it was like, what is your moments? What makes you a good dad? And I was like, I keep them safe. They've got all the limbs, you know what I mean? The fingers, toes. They've got somewhere to sleep, and food to eat. That's all you can do, and keep them warm. That's all you really need to do from the base level. Everything else out of that is you know, a bonus. So just remember, whatever you're doing, I know we joke a lot and we do a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
but whatever you're doing is enough. And if you ever do need any help or you need just somebody to talk to, there's places you can reach out to, but you can always drop a line to us and, we'll address any questions you might have, or we don't know everything. We don't know anything.
No.
But we'll listen at least.
Yeah. I was just, the reason I laughed when you said that, it was heart, like not the
I'm
last bit of
funny.
the thing, the thing about the fingers and toes. I was like, are they theirs? Is what I wanted to say.
Yes.
They don't have like a
they
fingers
are.
and toes collection.
No, probably. Patty, maybe, to be fair. Can you imagine a limit on the people going, gnawing them off.
But yeah, so I agree with you. The heartfelt side of that,
Especially
and
at this
when
time
you're
of year.
afraid- Yeah, it's this time of year with being the sun going in. I've noticed it. I've noticed with like dealing with other people as well. Everyone, it really does affect you when the sun goes in, which is funny because obviously in Australia it's the opposite. It gets light. This is when it's getting lighter and nicer and warmer and all that around Christmas
He's
time.
right.
So.
He's right boastful. Oh, what was that? Oh, that was the dishwasher telling.
It's actually popped open.
It was opening its mouth and saying it's done. But I was
didn't
about to
see Amy in
say,
here.
are you trying to get? Oh my God! I hope she's not listening to this point. What are you doing, man? Anyway, what I was going to say was, it
could
doesn't
say
matter
that, you
now. I
can't.
can't even remember what I was going to say about you being boastful.
Sad.
About
About
you being
Australia.
a boastful Australian about the
You
weather.
have to experience a summer Christmas once if you can. I know it's expensive. I know it's but it's a really nice thing to try and do. I loved it as a kid. So,
Cool. That was him smacking his watch, by the way, just in case. Smacking me.
shall we do a few more jokes?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Let's get not serious.
Yeah.
Go on, you go for the next one. I think
Wait.
it's number 7, I believe we're on, weren't we?
Yeah. What did Adam say on the day before Christmas?
I don't know.
It's Christmas Eve.
Well. Oh dear.
Am I supposed to say that without the pause?
No, but that was right. It was just I was giving that dramatic, like, oh my God. And that says something if I do that when it comes to jokes. Go for it. Right, hands
You
off
go.
the desk.
You go. Sorry. It's wobbling.
Right, go. Do you want me to do this one?
Yeah, you do the. You do number
What
8.
does Santa suffer from if he gets stuck in a chimney? Chimney, not chimley. Chimney, not chimley.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
No, but I'm just putting it out there because my wife will go chimley.
Chimney.
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 What does Santa suffer from if he gets stuck in a chimney?
Something to do with a waistline.
No, claustrophobia.
Okay.
Ooh, 2 more. Go for it. We'll probably not get through all of these in this episode, by the way.
What do snowmen eat for lunch?
Carrots?
Carrots. They eat their own noses.
I don't know. I'm just trying to answer a question.
That's just the horrifying thing of like, could you? Oh, no. Iceburgers.
Iceberg. Oh,
Iceberg.
okay. I was like, what's a burger with ice? I was like, oh,
Icebergers?
Iceberger. Got you. And last one for this one. What do you call a cat in the desert?
Lost.
Standing next to the penguin. What do you call a cat in the desert?
Lost with a friend.
No, Sandy Claus. That was good. That was a good one. Right. So
Right.
we're into. This has gone quite a bit. This is for
Yeah,
like
yeah,
45 minutes. This is
yeah,
good.
yeah,
I like
yeah.
this. Good to talk. It's good. Like I say, I can't say tiny clipboard production.
Tiny clipboards. Massive hands.
Oh, that might be the Tiny Clipboard Productions. That might be a good idea.
That's actually a really good name.
I'm good at it.
Patent pending.
Yeah, exactly. Recommendations time. So,
Yeah.
any movies, TV, or anything, any places you visited over the last couple of weeks?
Invincible's back.
Yeah, I've got an episode left to go, so don't spoil that one.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying it. I was completely thrown by the first episode because just where it starts from where it left off was just like, what? What's happening? And then it
Are
makes
you
more
up to
sense as you
date?
go
Are you
further.
on episode 4?
I think so.
Is Alan the alien?
Yes.
In the comics, does he go?
I don't know. I haven't read the comics.
All right, so not revisited in episode 4.
I don't know, and we don't want to do spoilers, do we?
Okay, no, we don't. But that's really, really good. If you're into your comic books, animation, and I'm
sure we've mentioned it before,
Yeah,
but-
we have. Yeah, so definitely check out that one.
One that you actually recommended to me, but Monarch.
Oh, that's on my list. But yeah, go for it.
I enjoyed it. I want to see more monsters. I think, but this is the character building episodes, and so I think it's 3 episodes.
Yep.
in, and I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying
Fourth
this.
one dropped today.
Is it today or tomorrow? It's
yesterday.
Friday.
No, yeah.
Oh, yesterday.
Yeah, there was an episode dropping on a Wednesday.
But yeah, good production quality. Feels like a long movie.
Yeah, it's gonna. I think it hopefully run for a little bit. It's great to see Kurt Russell and his son Wyatt Russell. So it's great to see the time hop, and that'll make sense when you watch it. But it basically casts as the same person over a period of time. So fantastic that they can do that.
What about you?
Well, you've pinched Monarch, so I can't talk about that because we just did.
Yeah.
There is one thing I've watched.
Okay. Just the one thing.
And just the one thing.
Yeah.
And again, musical theatre nerd in me, which will be lost on a lot of people, and it's on Apple TV Plus. Other TV stations do exist. Just so you put that.
Well,
out
we've
there.
already talked about Disney Plus shows.
I know. I'll just put it as a disclaimer.
Invincible's on Amazon Prime. So.
Yeah, cool. It's a Christmas special.
Ah.
It's a singy Christmas special.
Is it the one from last year?
Nope.
Not the Ryan Reynolds Will.
No, it's not a film.
one.
It's a live performance Christmas special.
Okay.
And it's one of my top 3 musical theatre stars that I would love to sing with. So if you're listening to this, I want to mention your name, please do tell me you want to sing with me, but you won't. You won't listen to this. It's the Hannah Waddingham Christmas special. It's only on for about 45 minutes.
Right.
But she is an immense singer, musical theatre performer. Do you know who she is?
She's the wife, I say the manager of the football club in Ted Lasso.
She's the owner, yes. So she's the ex-wife of
not manager,
who owned the club.
Yeah.
So Hannah Waddingham is in that. She is phenomenal in Ted Lasso. So if anybody hasn't seen that, that's another recommendation I would give you. If you want to have a feel-good show that really tugs at the heartstrings in terms of mental health, especially from a male perspective as well as a female perspective. Fantastic, funny, well acted. But she is an immense musical theatre singer. And watch that, and I smiled through the whole way through it. She's amazing. She was also, if anybody really doesn't know who she was the shame nun in Game of Thrones. And she's been in Benidorm and other things like that.
Right.
But first and foremost, where I very first saw her was around about 2000, I want to say 2005 or 6. It might be a bit earlier than that. In Spamalot the Musical, playing the Lady in the Lake. And she was immense then, and she's immense now. So shout out to that one. If you want something Christmassy that is not just Michael Bublé, who I love as well, get yourself to Apple TV Plus and watch that. It is well worth a listen and well worth a watch.
And Die Hard, I think, is on Disney Plus as well.
Yeah, it is a Christmas movie, Die Hard, 100%.
I was hoping you were going to disagree with me, and then we could
agree.
have
It's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Despite what Bruce Willis said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does he know?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? What does he know about it? Anyway, on this one, the next one, it says, let's get serious. I thought we did it at least 2 times in this thing.
I think
what
it's
you got in
been a
mind for
very
this?
serious episode. I want to do
It's been lighthearted in
a
places.
segment. Yeah, I want to do a segment around talking about something serious and putting sort of like almost like a trigger warning beforehand. So I might insert a certain amount of time here. I'll say, so we're going to talk about this for 10 minutes. And then you can skip forward if you want to. But we are going to be talking about something serious, something that might affect people. And I think it's affected both of us. In this instance, it's losing children before they're born.
Okay.
Is that something you feel comfortable talking about today?
I didn't know we were going to, but yes, I am.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I would be,
do you want me to start with my experience, or would you prefer to go first and not have the...
You go with yours.
Yeah.
And I can
So
know where we're going.
when fairly early on from when I moved here from Australia, so we got married in Australia in March, and I moved here in June of 2009. We went through a whole bunch of other things. May have spoken about it before, but my wife got pregnant, and there was a lot of stress with what we were dealing with. Things that most people don't have to deal with, and we were so excited. We did the scans, the egg was there, and it had been fertilized. And then we found out, I think it was it second scan along she had a blighted ovum. So we didn't get all the way to the end, but there was still that sense of loss and that sense of we had this thing that was going to be, and it was my wife thought because she has polycystic ovaries, she has a whole bunch of other things. Last time they had to use fertility treatment with Josh, and so for this to happen naturally, it was amazing. And so you get on that high of, okay, we're going to do this, and we're going to plan this, and we're going to do this, and it's that period of around about 9 months. We always say 9 months, but it varies. We were planning for all these things, but it's so fraught with danger. And we went through that, and then like it pushed us to go, you know what? We do want kids. We do want another kid. So let's try again. And then that's when, from then on, we were trying, and that's how we got Jess. So not shortly after, she got pregnant again, and then we were able to go forward with that. But throughout that whole process, it was then like, having had that, you're like, oh no, is this going to happen again? And we're going to go through this process again. And there's always that fear in the back of your mind. Now, that's very small in comparison to the experience that you've had. I know.
Well, I didn't know you had that experience.
Yeah.
How long have I known you?
Huh?
I've known you quite a while. I didn't know that was a thing.
Because we have Jess.
Yeah.
And because it's not something you necessarily want to add or bring up. But I think it's something that needs to be shared, because people need to know that that can happen, and it happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it is, the perils of we're frail human beings, aren't we? So,
well, with the experience that we had, obviously my wife went through the experience. I was just a bystander and somebody and that's not making light of the male, feeling around it, because I 100% did. Hatties are about 4 now, so it would have been a year prior to that. We were going to have what would have been our 3rd child, and Amy had suffered from an ectopic pregnancy. So that would have been about 8-9 weeks into it, after we'd been told that she was pregnant. It's a surreal experience, because obviously the lead up to that, to find out that she'd had it, was she was in extreme pain and quite kind of delirious and weak, and she had pains around there, and the feeling of helplessness was the worst for me, to not be able to. And I know this is, it's the strong man thing, and trying to fix it, and it's not the job anymore now, but I brought it up at a time that was the thing to do. And it just, that kind of helplessness and despair at watching my wife in agony, and having to get the ambulance there that wasn't going to be there for a bit of time. Turns out, when we got to the hospital, they were just going to send us away. Everything was fine. And it was like, no, things aren't fine. We need to double check and all that kind of stuff. So then we found out, obviously got a consultant in, and found out that, we'd lost the pregnancy. But more sobering was the consultant said if we'd been 10, 15, 20 minutes later, then probably Amy wouldn't have been here. So that was the shock to the system for that. But the thing that got me, and definitely got my wife, is it's a bit of a twofold story. It's the kindness of people and strangers and support. So the from work, from you, from friends, from family, and all of that. That was immense. That was amazing. I went very quiet for a period of time overwards. My mother-in-law noticed that, and I went to get therapy and talk about it. So I had my journey, and I got about it. So I did that stoic thing where I've got to be the one who's got to sort things out. But I never addressed a lot of things. I do now, and that's why I can talk about it in these terms. But what on the flip side of that coin is, I also got to see the absolute gutter of people that are out there that respond to things like ectopic pregnancies, and that's from kids all the way up to adults who should know better. And I don't blame the kids, because that'll come from what they've heard and what they've learned and how it's perceived. you mentioned something there in what you said. It's the potential for me that was lost. It wasn't obviously that we had a physical baby. It was the potential of seeing my two kids and looking at what they're going to achieve and what they had achieved is the potential of that baby at that time or that pregnancy at that time. That's the loss that we suffered. It was what would that have, who would they have been? What would their journey have been? And that's what got me in. For people to dismiss that and not to kind of, I'm not saying wallow in our grief, but not to understand and support and do that. Really opened my eyes to people. You know, I'm in my own environment, in my own home. I'm probably grumpier than you here on here. This is a whole different person than you see if I was here. But I try to lead my life in a way that I'm empathetic and I'm that shoulder and all that kind of stuff. Whether it works, great. If it doesn't, so be it. But I would never ever try to bring somebody down based on that. And it's comments like it's not real. It's just a piece of matter. It's, you know what I mean. It's like, why are you having a in essence a ceremony burial, all that kind of stuff. That's because we wanted. That's what we wanted. That was our way to say goodbye. But it's amazing that people don't buy into that. You know what I mean? Don't understand. Look, that aside, luckily a year and a half later, that bundle of joy called Hattie came along, and everything happens for a reason. Do we still think we have 5 kids? Yes. Right, 4 kids.
What's the 5th one, Dave?
I don't know. Anyway, we still think we have. So we that gets referenced. Baby Wilson gets referenced. And we will never forget that time, that potential, that whatever it is. So people suffer loss in different ways. I know we've went to have fun and now we've kind of got it. It does say let's get serious. So it is. We did. Yeah. But it is one of those things where we probably haven't talked about it. And as a dad podcast, we have to talk about everything. We probably do less political stuff than we have in the past. We did do one political episode. That never saw the light of day, that one, did it?
No, that was just us venting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But these are the kind of things that we can talk about and the experiences that we have. And if it makes one person think to support in a way, brilliant. If it makes another person to think, well, these guys have gone through something similar and they're now talking dafty stuff on a podcast, so everything's all right. Please reach out on our socials, drop a line. You don't have to talk about your experience. That's not what we want. We don't want, fodder for the podcast. It's not about that. It's about just, if you need to talk to somebody or you need to write it down or you need to do something, talk to us. We're not professionals, but we've gone through stuff similar. Okay? Anything to add from that for you?
No, it's great to see, because I know the journey that you've been on, and it's nice to see you out the other side of it. Not saying put it behind you, like you say, you reference it and you go from there, but to deal with those emotions. And it's a big thing to go through. And to feel like it's okay. There are other people who have been through a similar thing, not the same situation, because everyone's situation will be different, but there is help out there. There is people will support you, and there are people that are there to help. So,
but thanks for bringing this out. Do you know what? It's one of those things where we've got things we need to talk about, and we can be jokey all the time, and I try to be. But humor is a big healing thing for me. So a lot of these little funny bits and all of that kind of stuff is my way of just dealing with the world and how it is. But like I say, the power of people around you gets you to where you want to be. And if listening to this podcast even just remotely makes you go, oh, more power to it. And on that, let's finish on a high.
Let's go with some jokes.
Let's go with some jokes, right? And that's not making light of that segment. No. This is just we're trying to light it. There's 2 things I want to end on. So we'll do some jokes. We don't have to go all the way to the end of them, because we can bring some of these out. We're going to hopefully over the Christmas time. We might not get the advent calendar thing done that we wanted to, but because obviously we've got a day to get that sorted. But we might drop some Christmas cracker jokes in periodically through. Like he's like, we're doing the advent calendar. Where were we?
Definitely doing that advent calendar. No. I went to the the turkey?
I
You
think-
did Santa Claus.
I did Santa Claus, yeah, so it's that one.
Yeah, yeah. Do you want
Why did the turkey cross the road?
to get to the idiot's house? Knock, knock.
Who's there? Oh, God. Dear me. No,
What's
the turkey.
why did the turkey cross the road, Dave?
Because it was the chicken's day off.
It was visiting the idiot.
Exactly. Dear me. Here's a classic.
Okay.
Do you want to do this classic one? Number
Okay,
12.
okay. Why couldn't the skeleton go to the Christmas party?
I know this one because he had nobody to go with.
That's,
Are you laughing at it? Are you laughing at it?
I can't help myself. I love stupid jokes.
I'll do this.
Okay,
I'll do
okay.
this one. What did Santa do when he went speed dating?
He slayed.
Ooh, he did. He pulled a cracker. He did.
Nice. Why is it getting harder to buy advent calendars? Have you noticed that?
I don't know. Why?
Because their days are numbered.
What is the Grinch's favourite band?
Favorite band or
Yeah.
least favorite band?
His favourite band. Well, Grinch wouldn't like any bands, but it's say least favourite, does it? No, oh, it does. Yeah, you're right. How did you know that was that joke? It's because you read it. It's like
Grinch's favorite band.
least favourite band.
Least
What's his
favourite
least
band?
favourite band?
I don't know who. Or what. Or why.
The Who.
I ruined that, didn't I?
You did.
I'm sorry. How is Drake like an elf? He spends all his time rapping. Oh, the answer's in the question.
How did that happen? I copy and pasted that off a website.
I'm not just reading
Damn
these.
you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
How is Drake like an elf? He spends his time rapping. Is it he spends his time rapping?
Yeah, he spends
is
all his
what
time
I mean.
rapping.
Okay.
What? How did you know that, Dave?
I don't know. Oh, I like this one.
Okay.
Why did the man get... We're doing all these now, by the way, now.
Yeah, let's just keep going.
Why did the man get the sack from the orange juice factory?
The orange juice factory. I haven't looked at this. He was squeezed.
He just couldn't concentrate.
I'm trying to come up with alternatives to the thing, but
You do the next one.
what wobbles and flies?
Me. In a plane.
You fly.
In a plane.
In a plane.
What is it?
Jellycopter.
Okay. Should we do these last 5?
Yeah, come
Yeah,
on.
go on then.
We're on a roll.
What
Let's
do elves learn at school?
go. Wood making.
No. Random. The
It's not even a joke. That's just a direct answer.
That was the wobbling.
Yeah, I know that was me.
The alphabet.
The alphabet.
Yes.
Makes sense. When is a boat just like snow?
I know this.
Yeah.
When it's adrift.
Nice.
Oh, let me do this one.
Okay.
What's green, covered in tinsel, and goes ribbit, ribbit?
Mrs. Claus.
No, it's a mistletoe.
Like a missile toad or a miss?
Let me do this one as well.
Oh, missile or missile?
I'm going to do this one.
Missile or missile?
Missile.
Okay, yeah.
What do you call a deer who can't see?
I don't know, Dave.
No idea.
I had no idea.
Yeah. What do you call it? This is not this one. What do you call a deer with no eyes and no legs?
No idea how he got there.
No, still no idea.
That's a good one. Is there more?
No.
I love like a 3-parter joke, you know, like the koala one.
Okay.
What's a dog's favorite carol?
I don't know.
Bark. The herald angels sing.
What do you call an old snowman?
Melted.
Water. So you were close.
Yeah.
You were close. Right, you do the last one.
Okay. What do you get if you cross Santa with a duck?
I don't know.
We've been doing this all day, Dave.
What is that?
Christmas quacker.
A Christmas.
A Christmas quacker. Jonathan Ross.
A Christmas quacker.
Yeah.
Well, that was our 25 jokes. Christmas crackers, you will probably hear all of them because they
You
never
know what?
changed
We
them.
could probably just cut those and make them into the advent calendar that we wanted to make. So.
Well, we'll do
But
it.
then it wouldn't be a surprise.
No, exactly. We'll come up with some other ones. I've got some other jokes in there from somewhere. So how I wanted to end this.
Okay.
This might
he's
die
going
on
off
its
script.
This might die on its backside. So there's 2 endings on whenever I watch a program that I love, and I might reference. The first one is if I'm watching Murder She Wrote, and she does this little no, that's the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
She does the laugh and just goes freeze frame.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then it
yeah,
goes
yeah.
like I
Yes.
love that. I'd love to be in a TV program where I just do something and go, and then it goes freeze frame, and then just does that. But you
Yeah.
have to like
Yeah.
Without actually freezing from it. I'd love to do that. Second one is the good old-fashioned cheesy Jane McDonald ending, where she just does something and then she sings a song at the end.
Okay. Are you going to sing a song?
Well, I might just do a couple of bars. This might get cut. Who knows? But because it's Christmas,
Sing us a song.
I might do a little bit.
Sing.
Okay.
Sing.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. The snow. Anyway, I don't know why
Beautiful.
I did that. I
That
just
was
wanted to sing. I just wanted to sing. I've got a good microphone in front of us. People are going to absolutely rinse me for that.
If you're watching the video podcast, I did try and do this freeze frame at the same time.
I was stifling a laugh as well when I
I'm
threw
sorry,
that.
to
No,
be
I
honest.
was like, that's
Because
perfect.
it's usually a laugh. It's usually like a...
She goes, and then it does rolls of
Yeah,
credits
yeah.
underneath.
Head
I would
back.
love if we could do that one day. That would be great. We
That'd be
go like,
amazing.
my films. You got. That would be class.
Well,
Anyway,
that was a wonderful way to end off the podcast.
we've been talking for over an hour.
Yeah.
I think an hour and 10, hour and 15,
that's
maybe,
about- yeah,
something like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That is, it just goes to show the value of the mini clipboard production values. Patent pending.
Yeah. Tiny clipboard
Got
productions.
tiny hands, look at that.
Your hands look normal size.
Funny. So, thanks for listening. If you've
Yeah.
gone all the way through, we really
Well done.
appreciate. Well done. Yeah. This is going to be what we do every
Wow.
month. I know, God,
Commitment,
people will
Dave.
be sick of it. Every month, we'll do some stuff. So, if you have anything that you'd like to talk about, serious, lighthearted, whatever you want to do, please drop us that note or a line or anything at
The Doodads at iCloud.com on email, or the Doodads Pod on Twitter, and the Doodads Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. I think if we added, we're on TikTok as well.
We are on TikTok.
Is it the Doodads
The
Podcast?
Doodads. It's. I think so. I just
Yeah.
have to double check that. But it's either the Doodads podcast or the Doodads. Just normal.
3 words. The Doodads.
So, thank you again from me and from Jason. Have a wonderful Christmas. I hope Santa is extremely good to everybody. I hope you have everything that you need. You're safe, you're warm, your families are fantastic. If not, I hope it gets better for you in 2024. You're going to see more from us. Like, you can see us now, so that's good. You can see more from us
On YouTube or Spotify.
On YouTube, yeah. But like I say, I'll take this opportunity to say thank you again for listening through the episodes in 2023. Here's to 2024, and I'll leave the final word to my Antipodean friend over here.
What he said.
Yeah, Antipodean means Australian anyway. In case I think it
Bye
does.
for now. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
I guess that was bye.